All right, we're gonna go ahead and call open session to order. To start off, we need a motion to approve the open session agenda for December 8th, 2021 as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. All right. First up is our COVID leave revision. So we need a motion to approve the COVID leave revision as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have questions or discussion? All right, Dr. Hector, do you have anything to present on this item? Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, mitigation measures. Dr. Kane, do you want to tee this up for us?
Yes. At just an announcement that we are planning to bring to the next Board of Education meeting some changes to the mitigation measures. I know that there'll be some conversation, likely to be some conversation surrounding that, but we are very much aware of the Attorney General's ruling. And also at that meeting, we plan on having a loose framing of what the future will look like as it relates to what communication will look like in January, specifically in terms of if there is a situation in a classroom, what that communication is going to look like. It will look different than what we are currently engaged in at this point in time. So we want this to be on this agenda just so that the board's aware, excuse me, the board is aware of what we plan on presenting and sharing with you at the next Board of Education meeting.
Yeah, President Bates, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I certainly recognize all the things that have been communicated. Really, as it relates to the start of the Cole County ruling, as it relates to Steve Ellman's comments and the County Council, now furthered by Eric Schmidt's both communication and furthering in the last 48 hours. And one of the things that seems evident is board action and board support and clarification around timing, implementation of certain of these measures makes sense. That being said, I'd like to make a motion that we then here discuss, but I would move that the current COVID mitigation strategies remain in place through December 22nd, including building threshold levels, and thereafter the district returns to the communicable disease policy and prevention measures under board policy and regulations, unless otherwise ordered by the St. Charles County Health Department, subject to further board action.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion or questions on this motion?
So yeah, I just want to put that motion out there, which is basically getting back to the communicable disease policy that we have in place, and it's out there in 2860, if I think I recall, and it's related regulation, which governs all sorts of communicable diseases now, in my views, COVID-19. As it relates to further actions by the board and Dr. Kane, things that you mentioned that you want to bring in some further clarification, there's obviously a list of mitigation strategies and things that we're contemplating. My views here is that this is where contact tracing and those sorts of things for quarantines would be changed. My personal views as we think about anything you bring forward come next week, I would like to see, cleaning enhancements and some things we've done with air filtration that we've done in the past, making sure we're looking at that. But otherwise, things that we've done, visitors, I'd like to see those back in classrooms and buildings, recesses and poddings and things we've done there. And really just give things back to kind of normal, almost like what we've had at the beginning of the school year, if you think about how we started a lot of the things at the beginning of the school year. And just get, especially the student-related activities, back to normal. And so, I could entertain personally, as a single board member, entertain a masking threshold, but certainly higher than what it is today, if any. So I'm interested in any commentary from fellow board members, but I just want to make sure, I want to be clear. I think this board has to give the direction here and whatever Dr. Kane comes back with in a week. This is our action, not something you come independently with. I think from a legal perspective, that's what we need to be doing as a board. And so, certainly if other members have direction or clarification to give, those are my personal views, but I think we should weigh in here as well.
Others want to weigh in? Director Garber?
I would like for us to cease and desist according to the Attorney General's nomination, obviously his letter, I would like for us to do that. I would like for us to come back. Next week is our board meeting. Next week is our board meeting. And I would definitely like us to come back with the determination of the participation of the parents toward the end of the year still, that they don't have at this particular time, coming into the schools, going on field trips and things like that. I would like for us to cover all of that by next meeting and make a determination. I know that there are some legal issues in terms of if you're not compliant with this particular thing, there would be some legal issues that the school district would have to assume. And, but I think that as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to cease and desist at this time. As far as all of the contact tracing and the various things that are outlined in Eric Schmidt's letter. Thank you.
But just to clarify, we do have a motion on the floor for that to happen as of the 22nd of December. So that's the current motion that we're voting on right now.
You asked for discussion, and I'm telling you that I'm not for the 22nd.
Okay. I was just
would
letting
like
you
to
know.
do this now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Director. I was going to ask the clarification if you're just talking pure timing in that. So you'd like to see it now versus the December 22nd. Okay.
That's exactly what the Attorney General's letter says. So I don't think that we should necessarily, yes, thank you. But this is exactly what our Attorney General has said to do, and I believe that we should do that. Thank you.
Other discussion?
President Bates?
Yes.
My issue is more with the timeline. I also would like to see it end immediately, and then revisit the other mitigation strategies at the next regular meeting.
I guess I'll weigh in. I do appreciate the timeline that Director Goodson has set forth, because I do think there is a population of parents who do wish to have their children vaccinated and may be in that process, and I think this gives them the time, and when they come back in January, they will have had the time to prepare, or if they are looking to make that decision. So it does kind of meet in the middle, if you will, and give our parents a little bit of time to digest this information moving forward. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Sure, Secretary Shaper.
One thing I'd like to see in here is that we do have in here is the St. Charles County Health Department. It will have to be an order, not a recommendation. I think this gives the school district opportunity, even though we're not doing this immediately. The 22nd, we came a long way. I think we can make it to the 22nd. We can go back to being educators, and the health department can take care of the health in St. Charles County. Thank you.
President, just real quick, Catherine, I think in my motion I made sure to clarify that unless otherwise ordered by St. Charles
I
County.
believe you did say
Okay, just make sure it was
ordered,
ordered. Okay, thank you. Sure.
And just to clarify, that is in reflection, right? Because if we do have a positive case, they are still authorized to reign over that. Is that correct, Dr. LeBrat? They have authorization over that positive. Any other discussion? Oh, yes, please, that'd be great. Thank you.
It was moved by Director Goodson that the current COVID-19 mitigation measures remain in place through December 22nd, including building threshold levels, and thereafter, the district returns to the communicable disease prevention measures under board policies and regulations unless otherwise ordered by St. Charles County Department of Public Health, subject to further board action, seconded by Vice President Bryce.
Can we have a roll call vote on that?
Secretary Shaper,
Aye.
Director Goodson,
Aye.
Vice President Bryce.
Aye.
Director Abbott,
Aye.
President Bates,
Aye.
Director Garber,
Nay.
Director Stoley.
Nay.
Motion carries. All right. At this time, the board needs a motion to adjourn back to closed session for legal discussion.
Motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Meeting adjourned.